Now that you have looked at some text structures, let's practice with these. I am not going to draw mind maps on all of these because we're going to look at those in subsequent lessons. They're coming up. But I do want to go through these examples with you just to let you get a little more familiar about text structures. So in the textbook, this is on page 8. So let me go ahead and put that in here just so you can follow along with where I am in the textbook. And this is the example in the middle of the page. So let's take a look. It says a drought is caused by a lack of rain for an extended period. Drought can affect a town or city's water supply. Farmers' crops and people's lawns and gardens might shrivel up and die as a result of drought. So this is a relatively short paragraph. It only has about 3 sentences. But we can still get a topic and a main idea. I do think I'm going to draw that box just as a reminder of what that's about, because this, even though we're not doing a mind map on this particular paragraph, we are going to come back to that. So let's just review topic and our main idea sentence. Anytime I read something, I try to answer these 2 questions. What is the topic? What is the main idea? Well, the word that comes up over and over in this paragraph is drought. So that's going to be my topic, at least part of my topic. But this is too broad. Again, we need to tell what it is about the drought that this paragraph is addressing. It's the definition of a drought, or it tells us where a drought comes from. It tells us what happens as a result of a drought. So I'm going to just say that. The causes of drought and also the effects of drought. Now, I should have, as I read this, highlighted the keywords. There's cause. There's the word affect, which we've talked about. As a result. Those are all clues that we're dealing with causes and effects. So causes and effects of drought. That's the topic of this sentence. So let's put it, the topic of this paragraph. Let's put this into a sentence and we'll have a main idea. Now remember, my main idea comes from the topic, so I need to talk about both the causes and the effects of drought. So I'm going to say that drought is caused by lack of rain. And this needs to be one sentence, so I don't want to put a period after rain. I'm going to put a comma and a conjunction. And its effects, I don't want to say drought again. We don't want to be too repetitive. Effects, remember I'm using the noun form of the word, are, I'm just going to say bad, because the effects here, it can affect the water supply, crops, lawns, gardens shrivel up and die. Those are negative things. So the topic, causes and effects of drought. Drought is caused by lack of rain and its effects are bad. And the structure on this one, you can tell immediately. Of our 4 choices, this is a cause-effect structure. There is a rhyme and reason to text structure. And if you can learn how it works, your reading skills are going to go up just by knowing your text structures. Okay, let's try another one. This is at the bottom of page 8. I have a picture of a beautiful black bear. I didn't bring the picture in, but he's a beauty, or she. And this time they want us to compare text structures of multiple texts. So they're giving me two passages, and then they'll ask me to find some similarities and some differences in the passages. So let's see what we can do here. This is passage 1. More and more residents are encountering black bears. The bears not only scare people, but also damage property. Some homeowners have had to spend hundreds of dollars to fix the damage done to their houses by bears. Police and other officials must solve this problem by trapping the bears and taking them to safety. So again, just for practice, I do want to come back to this topic, main idea. These should be coming out of everything we read. Well, topic, hopefully you can get black bears. The picture is a good clue that black bears is part of my topic. What about black bears? Black bears what? Is this talking about what they eat? Is it talking about how many babies they have a year? Is it talking about where they live? It's talking about the fact, or I will say the assertion here, that black bears are a problem. In this particular passage, they are telling me that the black bears are a problem. So this structure, we can tell right now, is problem solution. So I need to be able to find a topic, the text structure, and then those will help me to find my main idea. So this is a problem solution passage. And let's try to identify our problem. What is the problem that black bears pose to our residents? Simply encountering or meeting a black bear is not a problem. They scare people, that's a problem. They damage property, that's a problem. They cost lots of money, that damage does. And what's the solution? What are people doing about this? They trap and release them in safety. So here, let me break it down even more. These are all part of the problem. And this is the solution that this passage offers. So let's put this in a main idea sentence. Black bears can cause expensive damage and scare people There is my problem. Again, this is one sentence, so I'm going to add a conjunction. But they can be trapped and moved. Do you see how this main idea not only takes consideration of the topic, but also of the structure of this passage? The problem is in the first part of my sentence. Black bears can cause expensive damage and scare people. A solution to that problem, they can be trapped and moved. And that conjunction is connecting those two ideas into that one sentence. Notice I've got a comma in there before the conjunction. So the problem of black bears, that's the topic, or problem caused by black bears. The structure is problem solution, and my main idea, black bears can cause expensive damage and scare people, but they can be trapped and moved. Okay, let's look at passage 2, which is also about black bears. But this is a different type of story. This is a different structure. So let's see what happens when we use this type of structure to talk about the same topic. And this is on page 9. Let me go ahead and write the page number. Early yesterday morning, a bakery owner walked into her store and found some unexpected company. A large black bear was pawing its way through the tasty treats in the display case. It swiped up cupcakes, slices of pie, and cinnamon rolls. The bakery owner quickly left the store. Then she called the police and animal control. Bear encounters like this one are occurring more often. They are a result of a long, dry winter and growing development. Okay, this one is a little bit trickier to identify. For one thing, there are lots of sentences here. This is a little bit more than we've been seeing. So let's approach it the way we always do. Let's do topic and main idea. And then we're also going to identify text structure. So I'm looking for keywords to help me identify the type of structure that we're dealing with here. And I do see some. I see yesterday. Let's see. Then. But I also see this one. Okay, result. So we have to decide if we're dealing with a chronological passage, which is step by step, time order, or a cause and effect passage. Now this is a cause-effect sentence. This is the result. This is the effect of long, dry winter and growing development. But you want to take the entire passage when you decide on the structure. In this case, this is a chronological passage because it's telling me step by step what happened in this story. So chronological, it is putting it in a time order. So this one is also a black bear story. But it's not a problem solution. It's not a cause effect. It's a time order. So I'm going to say an encounter with a black bear. This is telling the story of an encounter with a black bear. And so let's put this into a sentence. One bakery owner was surprised, because we want to know what kind of encounter this was, by one visitor to her bakery. And there are lots of main ideas you could use here, but I like that one. She comes in, and there's the bear. He's in the bakery picking out good food. It tells us what the owner did, how the story ended, and that is a time order passage. So both of these relate to the same topic. They relate to the same topic. They're not the same topic, but they're on the same line of thinking. Different text structure. Okay, at the bottom of page 9, let's look for this passage 1 and passage 2. It says to read the passages, then answer the questions. Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Now there's a date. I like dates. A few months later, several southern states seceded. And seceded means left a union. These states left the United States. On April 12, 1861, war broke out between the North and the South. The location was Fort Sumter in South Carolina. So when I first started reading this passage, I thought, oh, this is about Abraham Lincoln, because that's the first sentence, and that should be my main idea. But remember, that's not always the case. So the topic of this, it tells me Lincoln was president, which really has nothing to do with anything here. A few months later, the southern states seceded or left the United States. War broke out during 1861. So this one could be summed up by saying Abe Lincoln. You don't even have to put Abe Lincoln in there, but Abe Lincoln faced, actually, I'm doing the main idea. I'm sorry. I am so tired, guys. I'm so sorry. Topic. Let me go ahead and finish my thought, and then we'll come back to the topic. Main idea. Abe Lincoln faced the problem of a civil war during his presidency. Because this passage is not about Abe Lincoln. It's about this problem that Lincoln had to deal with. Very serious problem. And for the topic, I'm going to say how the Civil War began. And even though I've used the word problem in this passage, I would say that its text structure is chronological, because it's telling me the order in which things happened. Those dates are very, very helpful to establish chronological order. Okay, here's passage 2. U.S. presidents have to make hard decisions. Abraham Lincoln had to make the most difficult decision of all. The country was deeply divided. Some states had left the Union. How could he solve this problem? He believed that leaving the Union was a crime. He decided to defend federal law and the Union. So this one has no dates at all. It's not chronological. The focus here is a problem and what he decided to do about that problem. Hard decisions, difficult decision, that is a problem. The country was deeply divided. Some states had left the Union. So this one is almost tapping me on the shoulder and saying, hey, I'm telling you about a problem here. So again, I'm going to use the same main idea. Abe Lincoln, well, I'm not going to use the same idea. Let's say that Abe Lincoln faced a very difficult decision. Or made a very difficult decision. Very similar to the passage before. Both of them are talking about this difficult decision. And I'm just going to use that as my topic. Lincoln's difficult decision. If you like another topic, that's okay, as long as it's close and as long as it fits the passage. Text structure on this one, I'm going to call this one problem solution. And then we have to use what we've learned and read here to make a decision on this answer. The question is, how are these passages different? A, the passages are completely different topics. No, that is not true. Both of them have very similar topics. Both passages have a chronological text structure, but they tell about different events in Lincoln's life. Well, this is false. They are not chronological, and they do not tell about different events in Lincoln's life. So that is not the answer. Passage 1 has a compare and contrast text structure. No, that's false. It's not compare and contrast. While passage 2 has a cause-effect text structure, no, that is not true. Let me just do it this way. We'll mark out the parts that are not true. Passage 1 has a chronological text structure, while passage 2 has a problem-solution text structure. That's the one I want right there. Okay, moving on to page 10. Luis Alvarez was born in 1911. As a boy, he loved working with tools and building machines. When he was only 11, he built a radio with his father's help. Alvarez earned a PhD in physics in 1936. In 1939, World War II broke out in Europe. The next year, he joined a group of scientists. The group was building a radar system called Ground Control Approach, or GCA. This system sends a radio signal that bounces off a plane. The signal returns to the sender. Then a flight controller on the ground can guide the plane to land safely. Alvarez invented new ways to measure and test the physical laws of nature. He also corrected many theories about nuclear energy. These discoveries led to the invention of the atom bomb. When the first atom bomb was dropped, he watched from a nearby aircraft. In 1968, Alvarez received the Nobel Prize in Physics. He was honored for his work throughout his life. A few months before his death in 1988, a new asteroid was discovered. It was named Alvarez in his honor. So before I tackle the questions, I want to do a topic and a main idea for this whole passage. And I'm going to say that the topic definitely involves Luis Alvarez. But what is it telling me about Luis Alvarez? What about him? We start off with his birth, we end up with his death. So I'm going to say the life of Luis Alvarez. Another thing that comes to mind would be the contributions of Luis Alvarez. How did Luis Alvarez affect, in fact, I'm going to add that in here, the life contributions. How did Luis Alvarez contribute to the world? And so my main idea will be something like Luis Alvarez made scientific contributions that changed the world. The atomic bomb changed the world. It destroyed 2 cities completely. So definitely, Luis Alvarez's contributions changed the world. I think that's a safe assumption there. Starts out with his early life where he built a radio. Now that didn't change the world, but that was part of his growing up and part of his learning about science. He won the Nobel Prize. That's a contribution on a worldwide stage. So we can definitely say that this man has contributed greatly to science. Number 1, what happened to Luis Alvarez in 1968? So I'm going to look for that clue. In 1968, Alvarez received the Nobel Prize in Physics. So the answer is C. What happened just before Alvarez died? So I'm looking for death. There is a few months before his death in 1988. A new asteroid was discovered, and it was named after him. Both of those go together. So I like answer B here. A new asteroid was named after him. What does the writer want readers to know? This is where our main idea comes into play. So let me just make a copy of it, if I can. We know how this goes. So here was the main idea that I chose. Let's see how good it was. What kind of job did I do on my main idea? So first choice, the important events in Luis Alvarez's life. How Luis Alvarez is similar to and different from other scientists. Well, at no point did they mention other scientists. What caused the atom bomb to be used in World War II? We have no idea based on this passage what caused the bomb to be used. How Luis Alvarez solved scientific problems. So I can narrow it down to A or D. Both of these are good possibilities. But look at the structure. That's what I did not put up here, and I should have. How is this passage structured? What are the clues? What are the key words here? They're dates, guys. If you recognize that these are dates, we have 1911, we have 1936, 39, 68, 88. This is a chronological passage because of those dates. And that will help me to answer my question. I'm going to go with A. The important events, that's chronological, in Luis Alvarez's life. And I bet I know question 4, even though I can't see it yet. What text structure does the writer use in this passage? And I just answered that for you. It is chronological. Okay, here is our last example. I'm still on page 10. Read passages 1 and 2, then use them to answer questions 5 and 6. So here is passage 1. Mortal Kombat is a video game. It caused a big change in the gaming industry. Many people complained that the game was too violent for children to play. As a result, Nintendo removed the blood from the game. Sega added an MA13 symbol to the game to show that it was for mature audiences over 13. Congress held a hearing about video game violence. As a result of the hearings, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, ESRB, was created. The ESRB rates video games. The group's task is to look at game content. It also suggests how old players should be to play a game. Ratings change from EC, early childhood, to A, adult. So let me draw our very familiar box now. This is a topic and a main idea. Topic, you want to say Mortal Kombat, but is that really the topic? Does this tell me how to play Mortal Kombat? Does it tell me how much it costs? Does it tell me who made it? No. This is about changes to video game ratings. We are looking at how these changes came to be. Mortal Kombat is just an example of why the change needed to occur. So for structure, I'm going to go with 2 of them this time because I really could make an argument for 2 structures. And as passages get longer, you may have more than one structure. One of them that definitely stands out to me is a problem solution. Because the problem was that people complained that the video game was too violent. But I also see the word result. That suggests a cause and effect. So you could go with cause and effect. You could also go with problem solution. I think either of those would be appropriate. But I'm going to structure my main idea with cause and effect. So I'm going to say, as a result of public complaint, that was the problem. There's the result, the effect. I'm sorry, that's the cause, public complaint. As a result of public complaint, Congress, well, let's not say Congress, the ESRB, and remember what that means, Entertainment Software Rating Board, was created. So there is a solution to the problem. And I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to start putting my structure, if I can, into this space. And that will help me remember that I need to do it. I'm used to topic and main idea, but let's just put that one in there too. So we have topic, main idea, and structure. So that was passage 1. Let's look at passage 2, which is actually on page 11. So let me... Sorry. Why am I writing passage 2? I'm tired. Let's do page 11. Passage 2. The Entertainment Software Rating Board, ESRB, provides users with an easy way to choose video games that are appropriate for different age groups. It gives ratings based on the content of the games. By looking at the ratings from the ESRB, a user can quickly compare the content in different games. EC, early childhood, the game is okay for young children. E, everyone, the game is okay for all ages. The game may have mild cartoon violence and mild language. E10 plus, everyone 10 years of age and up. The game may have more cartoon violence and mild language. T for teen is 13 years and up. The game may have some violence, crude humor, some strong language, and some suggestive language. M, mature, 17 years and up. The game may have violence, blood and gore, and strong language. A, adults only, 18 years and up. The game may have a lot of strong violence and gore, adult content, and a lot of strong language. As the level of violence increases, so does the age level. Games with E10 plus, T, M, and A ratings all have violence. Violence in a game rated T is much different than the violence in a game rated M. So let's create a box here. If you hear that funny sound in the background, please just ignore that. It's an alarm going off. Nothing's wrong. It will stop. I'm not sure if you're able to hear it, but I don't want to re-record this whole video. So bear with me. I promise it will stop. So the topic of this one is definitely going to include the ESRB. And in this paragraph or passage, they are explaining the ESRB. So I'm just going to say that is explained. The main idea here, the ESRB, and you can write all that long name out if you prefer, but the ESRB is a system to help users choose video games. There's actually a sentence in here that would work very well for the main idea, and I'll highlight that for you. Let's see. Right here. The ESRB provides users with an easy way to choose video games that are appropriate for different age groups. That's a very good main idea. Okay, let's decide on the structure of this. It doesn't have dates. It doesn't really have a problem. It gives a solution to a problem, but it doesn't really talk about the problem itself. It doesn't give me a cause and effect, but it does compare and contrast. It gives me all the characteristics of each category of video game. So this is an excellent example of comparing and contrasting. And they even use the word compare. So I like that for the structure. Okay, let's do the questions. There are just 2 of them. What is the text structure of passage 1? Now be careful, passage 1. So I need to go back and make sure I'm looking at passage 1. Don't miss this question because you get them mixed up. Passage 1 is a problem solution or a cause and effect. I'm going to go with cause and effect because of those words as a result. So I think the best answer is cause and effect. Which sentence from the passage best supports the answer to Part A? Mortal Kombat is a video game. That's true. But it doesn't give me cause and effect. Many people complained that the game was too violent for children to play. That's true. It gives me the cause, but no effect. The cause was that they complained, but what happened because they complained? Congress held a hearing about the video game violence. That is true. That is the effect, but no cause. As a result of the hearings, the Entertainment Software Rating Board was created. So the hearings are the cause. The ESRB is the effect. And that is the one that I want. It's all in one sentence. That's a very good main idea sentence. And let's just look back a second at what we came up with. I want to show you this. Look at my main idea sentence. And I'm going to just copy it and bring it right on over here. Now, we didn't look at the questions. We didn't know this question was coming. But look at my main idea and at how close these 2 are. Let me take this away. I'm telling you guys, this works. This will help you pass a reading test. There's what I came up with. As a result of public complaint, the ESRB was created. As a result of the hearings, the ESRB was created. Those are almost word for word. It works. It takes practice, but it works. And finally, number 6. Which is the best description of the 2 passages? Now let me just jump back a second. These 2 passages. Passage 1 and passage 2 have the same text structure and topic. That is not true. They do not have the same text structure. Passage 1 focuses on one video game with violent content. Passage 2 focuses on a variety of video games. That's not true. Passage 2 doesn't mention games. It mentions ratings. Passage 1 and Passage 2 have the same text structure, but different topics. That is not true. Passage 1 had a cause-effect. Passage 2 had a compare-contrast. Passage 1 focuses on why the ESRB was created. That's cause-effect. What caused it? And Passage 2 focuses on the different, that's compare-contrast, ratings. This is the one we want. The structures are different, and this one is the one that explains that correctly. Okay, in the next video, we are going to look at sequence, and we're going to learn a new mind map specifically for sequence. So I will see you in that video, and I hope that you have a really good day. Bye-bye.